Is there nothing less comfortable than having one clogged ear? I'd rather they both go so I can just get my balance back.
There is, Sarah, and it's called adult braces, which I now have because one a-hole tooth has decided to go rogue.
What an a-hole. I managed to chip one of my front teeth, but in the middle of the tooth, though. How did I manage such a thing? Who does that?
You do, Sarah. That feeling when you go through the automatic car wash to feel soothed like a swaddled baby. And a clean car is secondary.
It is very soothing. Have such a good day. Oh, hello, world, and welcome back to Have Such a Good Day, the show that wants you to do just that.
Palindrome episode, what up? Episode 191, Sarah.
191, Heather.
Such a good day in the house.
Oh my gosh, I need a good day in the house. Over at the Lane residence, we are limping a fucking long. Sorry,
Seriously.
pardon my French.
I actually really love that, like, a palindrome, just a simple number palindrome, Sarah, just like brightens your day. You know, it's
100%.
the little things.
It's like an egg carton.
It's like an
that is
instant good day.
perfectly symmetrical. There's just something that is very, like it's like your car wash experience, Heather.
Yes.
I find a palindrome soothing when everything else is chaos.
You know, whenever I open an egg carton, I think of you and I go, oh, wait, Sarah, nope, can't do
Sarah
that.
wouldn't do it this way. There are so many, and this is just because of years of experience being around other humans, but it's like there are other things. Like you and I used to be roommates. I don't remember us ever really having like that wildly different ways of living.
No.
But there are just things that people do or they don't do, and you go, God, I just would not do it that way.
Yeah.
Even if it's not upsetting. For example, I go to my mom's and I'm like, where are all your coasters? And she's like, just like put it on a napkin. I'm like, no, do not like waste a paper towel when you could just have coasters. Like there's just like things that I care about a lot that other people are like, really?
It like doesn't faze them at all. Like the joy that I have going through a car wash is not something that my boyfriend enjoys like I do. I just want to like take a deep breath and really relish it, relish
and
every
you know that
second of
no
it.
one can get you. Like you've got a few minutes
you're
of
like in the
absolute
womb.
solitude.
Totally. I mean, I can imagine I don't know what it feels like being in the womb, but I can imagine it's like that. So y'all who have just tuned in for the first time, this is the show that unpacks the absurdity of everyday life for your entertainment. I have to say, Sarah, lately I'm on a lot of Substacks. It's like the new thing.
I thought you were going to say I'm on a lot of substances.
Well,
I was
that
like,
too.
Okay, Heather,
I'll
are
talk
we
more
doing?
about that later, actually. But a lot of people are talking about stuff that we talk about, and I'm like, okay, are we just trendy, or I don't know what's going on? But someone the other day was talking about how great cottage cheese was, and I thought I was so like sort of embarrassed that we talked about cottage cheese for so many shows. But hey, other people are talking about it too.
Hey, girl. Cottage cheese is the jam. Listen, if you're lactose intolerant or otherwise just can't deal with cottage cheese, all good. More for me. But it is a delight. In fact, oh my gosh, what did I put cottage cheese on the other day? And
here she goes.
Even for me, I was like, this is weird.
Okay. Oh wow. So this wasn't a good combo.
I know what it was. So I had corn tortillas. I had some kimchi. I had some like leftover like a protein. I think it was fish, like a white fish, like a snapper or something. And I was like, okay, I can make like weird fish tacos right now, but I don't have any cheese. And some people are like, fish tacos should never have cheese. I'm not one of those people because I'm already weird. But I didn't have cheese. And so I was like, cottage cheese might sort of work. And it sort of worked, but it was a very strange concoction. And I will admit that freely. But I ate it.
We're going to talk about this a little later in the show, but I think I don't really have a lot of weird food combos because my mom used to mishmash, I guess you would say.
A mishmash
of cuisines. Like, so she'd be making Italian food, but like with sushi on the side. And I just was like, this is all wrong. Like that. No,
Yeah.
Like instant stomach ache, like I can't handle. So I don't usually do weird stuff like you do, Sarah, but I always appreciate the stories.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and this is, I think, is very, very typical for kids, where kids don't want, like unfamiliar sauce or anything that's too like
Yeah,
garlicky
totally.
or, or for different pieces of food to touch each other on a plate, at the dinner
Yeah.
table type thing. I was never one of those kids. I mean, I won't say that I just like loved everything that was put in front of me, but I was a pretty good eater. And my mom was not a weird chef. She was a really good cook, but she still
A
is.
weird chef.
Well, I can't remember. There were a couple of things that she made that, she and my dad liked. And I was like, potato casserole. Ugh, this is the worst day, but I would still eat it. It wasn't that bad. It just wasn't like
Wasn't
fun
your fave.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember ever just kind of, that so many people as adults have these stories of like, well, and I had to sit at the dinner table until I finished it, and I would just sit there all night because I did
Oh,
not
yeah.
want to
I
eat
have some
the
stories.
food that either my mom or dad or Guardian or made, and I'm like, I don't really have those stories. I just ate everything.
Oh, I recall. Sarah, how's life? What's
Heather,
happening?
I okay, so where does one start? Everybody knows that if you listen to the show regularly or if you're just joining us for the first time, know this about me. My life is in upheaval. And I'm moving from my current place of residence to kind of a temporary spot. I'm kind of going to be floating around. Let's call it for the summer of 2023. I'm a bit of a floater with my eventual resting place, not in death, but a place to rest my weary head. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that yet. So that's always just stressful, If you've moved recently, or even if you remember your last move, it's like no matter how prepared you are, it's always harder than you think it's going to be.
It is. Once you're like in it.
There are more details. Yeah, I threw out. I'm moving in just over a week. Well, maybe just under a week by the time y'all hear this. And you go like, well, I mean, you do a couple things, every day when you're done with work, and it's like shouldn't be that big a deal, right? But you end up just throwing away stuff. I mean, I threw away in the moment that I like threw it into the garbage bin, I was like, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to, like, you really want to throw it? Like some of these, like, like a stuffed animal or,
Oh, don't do that.
I
It's so
know, but it's like, but
heartbreaking.
I can't keep all this stuff.
Just
right?
bring it to the Goodwill or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to be, I mean, I don't want to like irresponsibly not recycle things or not donate books, that would otherwise, end up in a landfill.
Don't
or
burn those
whatever.
books, Sarah.
No, we've got a lot of the, the little, what do they call them? The mini libraries that people have around
Oh, yeah,
here.
yeah. Like take a book, leave a book.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
And,
yeah.
So I figure my neighbors up the road have a really cute one. And I'm like, I'm just going to leave them a box and be like, hey, go nuts. So some of that is like, it's just, the way it goes. But, and I think probably because my head is a little cray-cray right now, all these other things just have been like going wrong. For example, last night I was making ramen. I was making top ramen, if we're going to be clinical about it. Top ramen is the easiest thing in the world to make. You boil water, you put some noodles in there for like 2 seconds, add the flavor packet, done.
AKA MSG.
Yeah, MSG, which doesn't bother me, but yeah, it's quite sodium rich. But I've made top ramen like hundreds of times in my life. It's just it's an easy snack. You're not trying that hard, but it's delightful. And I managed to spill the boiling hot water before I even added the flavor packet all over my right hand. Because I was I was going to drain the noodles, you know how it goes. Now, kitchen incidents happen to the best of us, and kitchens can be sort of sort of scary, right? You do have to be careful. But I don't know. I made a misstep, and my hands have been weird lately because I've got this neuropathy thing, and I really hurt myself. Now, that was last night. I am fine today. Like, I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything. I basically have let's call it it looks like a dramatic sunburn on my right hand. Sunburns are the worst, but it's not debilitating.
It's very distracting though. It's like it's painful.
It's painful. Yeah. It's just like, and also I'm pretty nimble in the kitchen. I mean, I'm not like a world-class chef or anything, but it's like, I know how to use a pot holder. Like it just did not work out for me yesterday.
You're in your head.
Yeah, exactly. So that happened. So here I am, like trying to watch TV with my hand in a pot of cold water, thinking like, do I go to the hospital? Woe is me. And so that happened. Then I eventually, I felt, okay, I think I will not indeed die. My right hand will be salvaged. It's time to go to bed. So I went to bed, put some earplugs in, and just like, goodbye world. See you mañana. With the eye mask on, the whole nine. And I woke up this morning, and I slept quite well, actually. Woke up this morning, left ear completely clogged. Can't hear a damn thing. And that feeling where you're like, it's not water, because I wasn't like swimming or anything. It's something.
You had like moisture in there and it got like stuck or something.
And people always, I'm an earplug lover, as I know you are as well, Heather. Some people can't deal with earplugs. It just like makes them feel weird or whatever. I love it the way that you love a good car wash. I'm like, put me in a cocoon, drown out everything. Sight, sound, motion, don't want it. It's my alone time. Good night. But I have been told that wearing earplugs too regularly can sometimes cause issues like my ear not working, which is probably a wax thing. Yuck, yuck, yuck. We don't have to go too far into that, but I am currently still very discombobulated because half of my body,
burnt hand,
yeah, it's like an inner ear thing. Yeah, so like my right hand is off, my left ear is, shot to hell. I don't know what to do.
You're a human disaster,
I'm
Sarah.
a human disaster. I'm still walking, but otherwise I'm a human disaster.
On feet.
I'm walking on my feet, yeah, which, listen, not everybody can do that. So I count my blessings. I count my blessings. But, just, where you have like a 48 hours where you're like, come on, really?
Yes, dude. Totally. In fact, I had a similar couple days. I mean, I guess today's Wednesday, but yeah, Monday and Tuesday. I mean, I do this funny thing where I think I'm moving too fast. Well, that's at least what my boyfriend says when I have like a really busy day and then I'm like going down to try to cook dinner and I'm moving around, the kitchen really quickly.
Right, where it's like they're like, it's like bad energy, like chill.
Yeah, totally. It's like, take a chill. So then I like pour a little half glass of wine and hopefully that does the trick. But I'll sometimes like smack my like knuckles on like the door jamb or my elbow or, I tend to get like clumsy. It's like when I have too much going on, I have too much on my mind, I'm too much in my head. And so case in point, first thing I do is make a coffee in the morning and I'm pretty groggy in the morning. I've been taking a lot of antihistamines because of my terrible, terrible allergies. And so I wake up extra groggy and I'm just, and so I'm kind of stumbling downstairs and I grab a carton of milk. It's just like kind of a narrow one, the smaller one. And it went thunk, like just dropped on the ground. Like, I don't even know how I did it. I just wasn't present. I wasn't like in my body. I was like in my head.
Yep.
And it hit the ground so hard that it like split at the bottom. And, all the milk came running out and it's like, can I just like rewind and actually witness like how that happened? But no, I completely relate. And this is why, it's important to really pay attention because you hurt yourself during these times. So you really have to, try harder, especially now to be present. I think honestly, the seasonal allergy thing right now, and I have been reading, on the old internets that 2023 seasonal allergies, especially right now, are like extra bad because we had tons of rain.
Yeah,
We had
over
kind of a
yeah.
weird and wacky winter everywhere. And I honestly don't know if it's just really bad allergies or if I'm kind of sick. Like I feel like slightly under the weather, like
Hmm.
swollen glands, like swollen throat or sore throat, tired, my eyes are like sandpaper. I feel like run down, and
Yeah.
I felt like this all week, even over the weekend, when I was out of town, I felt a little like, not that great. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's not COVID, but I'm like, am I sick? Do I have just like worse allergies than ever? They're kicking my ass, but yeah, I'm trying to push through it. It's funny, you get so excited for a new season and some sunshine and the flowers and everything, and then you have to deal with hay fever.
Yeah. I
Always something.
I know you're going through it. Your allergies, I I am very sympathetic because when I was a kid I had them horribly. I mean, like my parents tried everything. Nothing ever helped. I just like kind of like you almost wake up in the morning and like
Oh,
first thing where
totally.
you're like this isn't going to go away. Like all I have to do is get through the day and go back
This
to
is a
sleep.
Zyrtec day. Like I know right
Yeah.
away, like I have to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
one.
And that used to like I used to have to like go home from school because like I
Wow. See,
couldn't
I
stop
didn't have them when I was a
sneezing,
kid.
and like it was like disruptive to everybody. Like, yeah, like I mean, after a while, it's like, is Sarah really gonna sneeze like 100 times in the next hour? Like she should leave. I don't have that anymore, but
You're so lucky.
well, but then I, spill ramen on my right arm and have to get it amputated. But
Don't say that.
no. I'm trying to be funny, but yes, it has been a spectacular spring
It has.
in my part of the woods. And I'm not too far south of you, but we're
Yeah.
obviously both on the West Coast. But it's beautiful. But I can see where it could be a super bloom allergy situation.
Well, I hope that's what it is. I mean, there's no like, I'm like, God, what's wrong with me? Like, I have so many symptoms. I even have a headache, which I never get headaches, very rarely.
Worst.
But I was in actually your neck of the woods over the weekend, kind of spontaneously, and it was like Sonoma, so kind of the adjacent town, wine country area, and I spent a couple days with a friend of mine who I went to Mexico with actually, and I'm really close to her and her kid, and I felt allergies down there, but it was like kind of different. It's very dry down there as opposed to really humid up here. So I was kind of curious to see if I would feel better or worse when I came home. I would say I feel worse, or I don't really know. It's hard to say. But I ended up doing a lot of like kid sports things. It wasn't like planned, but I went to one of my friend's kids' baseball games. He's like 11, and it was actually fun. It was cute. It's just a world that I don't really live in. I played baseball when I was their age, and I was very sporty, but I don't have kids, so I'm not going to games. I mean, I have friends that's all they do. They drive their kids back and forth to sports. I mean, constantly. Like that's like literally like every day of their lives. And I ended up it's soccer camp season, so a bunch of my friends are like heading off to soccer camp soon, and so they're really into the game. Apparently, people are buying soccer balls like crazy. I heard this on the radio. But I used to play
Then
soccer.
it's true.
It's true. Those journalists, they never tell a lie. But one of the kids that I was hanging out with wanted to play soccer like so desperately. So, I used to play, and I was on a very competitive team, and I played for many, many, many years. So I was like, yeah, of course, I love the game. And we played in the backyard, and it was really fun. It was just like a quick kind of, we set up these little goals and competing against each other in this small space. I couldn't believe, like, I felt like I was gonna die. I was like, I'm in shape. Like, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. I take care of myself, but not in that kind of shape. And I hadn't played in years, but I was like totally that older person that was like huffing and puffing and needing to take regular breaks, like
know.
I had to
Yeah.
sit down. And that is like the first time I've ever experienced that, actually. Like that sort of whoa, because I've always been so like athletic, and so I've had such endurance and and so I just was like kind of thrown by that, the winded feeling that I never used to feel.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, a good reminder that, once you get to a certain age, like, you can't keep up with the kids. I mean, I don't know.
can't.
Maybe if you're like some like crazy triathlete or whatever, like, best of luck. But still, like, you're gonna pull something, or you're gonna get tired.
yeah.
Or, you
Like,
can't eat the same
absolutely.
things you used to eat, et cetera, et
I
cetera.
was so wiped out that night. It was funny because I had done yoga in the morning. And so it was like a day that I really just like burned a lot of calories. And he also locked me in they have a trampoline, and he wanted to play soccer in the trampoline. And I'm like, oh, this is a recipe for like a total disaster. Like, I'm going to break an ankle. I'm going to get kicked in the face. Like, something bad's going to happen. I was just like, I was very cautious when I was in there, and I did jump around a little bit, but I was like, no, this isn't happening for more than a couple minutes. And I kept getting wooed by him. Like, every hour or so he wanted to play again. And I was like, nope. And he'd bring out like a fancy cocktail, or he would just do something to try to get me to like play again.
The 11-year-old brought you a fancy cocktail?
Well, it was basically, I said, bring me some water and I'll think about it.
I want to meet an 11-year-old who does that for me, because all they ever do is ask for money.
Well, this is actually a funny story. So I said, just bring me a glass of water and bring me my shoes and I'll think about it. And he was gone for a while. Like, he was, it was like probably 10, 15 minutes. We were sort of surprised he wasn't back yet. He comes out with this huge, like one of those just like comically large wine glasses full of like a bright, like it almost looked like an Aperol spritz, and it had like ice in it, and it had like little mandarins on the rim, and it had a straw. And it wasn't alcoholic. It was just something he made in the kitchen that was like a fun, faux cocktail for me, just because he wanted so badly to play. It was very cute. Very, very endearing.
That is endearing. Yeah.
Yeah. Cute kid. But
Take heed, young children. You want Heather to play soccer with you in a enclosed trampoline situation? Make her an Aperol spritz.
Yeah. And then like the other thing I do is I come home, and I had to sort of decide on my next move with my straightening my teeth situation. And I have this one, as I mentioned off the top of the show, I have a rogue tooth that just doesn't want to straighten. It's literally spun 180 degrees, and it's a molar. So
And they don't want to pull it?
No, I don't want them to
Not
pull
that
it.
they should. I'm like, a tooth spins like,
It's so strange. All
so
the rest of
much.
my
Like,
teeth
you'd
are
think
straight.
like the roots would be effed up by this point.
I hope not. No, they just think that they can. That's why they put a couple braces. Like, you can't see them from the front, but I can feel it. It's like rubbing. Like, my mouth is all cut up right now. But I have just a couple on the side. But I think it may have been a mistake. We'll have to see. I'll have to see how it goes. But man, I know they're there and they suck. I do not envy anybody who has braces, and I think I only need them for a few months. So I'd probably just have to like literally grit my teeth and bear it. But God, this, like, it's just all this like human, just taking care of your body, and all the things you have to do, and the sacrifices you make, a lot of upkeep. It's just the pits, Sarah.
Well, as somebody who, when I was younger, too young, the first time I had braces, I was too young. Too young meaning not enough of my teeth had come in, so they just got messed up again because there was too much room for the straightened teeth to. Anyway, that's a long story. But the second time I had braces, I was in 7th grade. And because I remember I got them off right before 8th grade graduation. So it was like big reveal. And then I was fine for a while. But yes, I put in some years of braces. Then I had Invisalign. I mean, you remember it. It was well before you did, but a good, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever. And my bottom teeth are still messed up because I don't know, my teeth just don't want to stay in their place.
No, they're little bitches.
But yes, I remember the feeling of not only braces hurting, but also cutting up your mouth.
Oh yeah,
your mouth will get used to it. like the inside of a mouth is quite resilient, turns out.
It
But
is.
yes,
It
I know that
is.
feeling. It sucks. It's not fun.
It does. And I'm like, maybe it wasn't worth it because it wasn't even an aesthetic thing. I did it because he was like, well, you don't
Well,
have to do it, but it's going to cause some
or
problems.
you pull the tooth, right?
He
That's
never
probably what
mentioned
was
tooth
implied.
pulling. Oh, interesting. Huh.
I mean, a tooth can
Well,
only rotate so much before the roots are. Anyway, I'm not an orthodontist, but yeah, but based on my experience,
yeah.
yeah,
So that's that.
that's fun.
That's that, Sarah.
All right, so
But
we're both
in
human
other news,
disasters. Good stuff. Good stuff.
in other news, though, I'm working on some interesting projects this year that are very different than last year. Stuff that, I have to say, it's pretty fun to be thrown in. I like being thrown into the fire, and maybe that's like a producer thing. But when you're going from gig to gig, you don't always know what to expect because every project is different, and you have to be able to kind of pivot and like shoot from the hip and like do all these things that you're not always prepared to do a job. And there's like a learning curve, right? And obviously, with this new job that I have, there's a learning curve on a lot of different levels. And one of my current projects is I have to come up with a color scheme for a gingerbread Victorian building that's huge, and it is a very large building. We're gonna have to paint it in like 4 different pieces like over the next year. I mean, it's not an easy feat. But it's something that I've never done before. I think I'm pretty good at like interior, color schemes and
Yeah,
paint
your
and that kind of
aesthetic
thing.
is great when it comes to making a house a home.
Yeah, I try. I try. I mean, I definitely have my shortcomings, but like this, you should see this place. I mean, it's so tall and it has turrets, and it's like I just never thought this was something that I was going to do. So I have a Pinterest page for it, of course. And it's kind of fun and weird. I mean, I would say that, like, I don't know if I would buy a Victorian. This is one of my dad's properties, and he loved it. And it's one of the most beloved buildings in the area. It really is. Every time I say, oh, it's the Pythian Castle, people are like, oh, it's my favorite building. Really needs a paint
Sure.
job. But
Yeah.
it's something that I probably wouldn't have chosen to buy because they're old. They're on the older side. They were built a longer time ago,
You
so
have
they
to
have
assume, yeah, there's some
issues.
structural things or termites or what have you.
Yeah, like wood rot. I mean, all kinds of things. And yeah, they used different siding back then. They used materials that might not even exist now. So it is very much a challenge to own a building like that. This one in particular is, you want to do 3 or 4 colors because it's got all those details, and you want to.
Sure. Yeah.
You see people go kind of crazy. People, it's an opportunity. It's a blank canvas to do, like, I could do yellow with red. Like, I could do anything, really. I mean, it's my choice. And it's kind of a fun thing where it's like I can kind of do whatever I want. Like, it could be hot pink, the whole thing. I won't do that. But it could
but
be.
you could.
I could make it a Barbie house if I want.
Well, I mean, and anybody who's been to, well, I mean, across California and, other areas, but San Francisco in particular, you see all sorts of crazy color combos.
Totally.
Where you're like,
Yeah.
I would not have done that purple
Yeah,
monstrosity, but like
most of them,
kind
yeah.
of, chef's kiss in a little bit of a way too.
Absolutely. Like, do something that, like, it's like cool. Like, I want to do something that is, here's what I want to do. I want to do something that is a little bit more disruptive than, because everything around here to me looks similar. Like, it all looks the same. Everybody kind of follows suit with like the style, like the architectural style and the interior style up here. It's a small community. So, there's just this particular way that people are designing their places, and I don't know, maybe they're like sharking off of other people. I'm not really sure. But I don't want to do that. I want to do something different, for sure. And I'm leaning toward like all white with like black trim because I like that modern feel to it. Not that it's like that original. I just want something that looks clean and fresh and I guess cheerful. but that's going to be a lot of white that's going to get really dirty. So anyway, it's a fun little project. I'll keep you posted. Hopefully it'll be done this year. I can send pictures. And yeah, I don't know, kind of cool. If you have any ideas for me, email me at hi@havesuchagooday.com.
Indeed. Indeed, indeed. Heather, I have no doubt that you are going to make that Victorian building the coolest one in the land. Even though everybody loves it.
my goal.
You know, good paint job. Yeah, good paint job. My I lent my, I don't even know why I'm telling everybody this, but whatever. This is the kind of show we have. I lent my mom a power washer, which actually does not belong to me. It belongs to the house that I live in, which I will not live in all that much longer. But she has these, they're like these actually really cool like terracotta Spanish tiles in her backyard. It's not a huge backyard, so I mean, you know, it's you know, in lieu of a yard, like a grassy yard kind of thing. But they get funky over the winter. You know, they cut. You know, you get some sort of like black rod and weird stuff, but you power wash those and they'll last forever. So the other day I brought over the power washer and I was like, I've never even used this, so like, have fun. And you know, she sent me some photos like halfway done. And I mean, it really makes a difference kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
like, but it's like even something as small as that, you know, if my mom just being like, you know, the backyard is in disarray. What do I do? Like she's not going to like hang out on her hands and knees, like with bleach, scrubbing each tile. There's so many of them, you know, it's like,
we
you
have
got
a
to just
power
power
washer
wash
too.
that shit.
Yeah, and it's the season because we've literally power washed like most of our buildings at this point. We did it in the last month.
Yeah.
But like when I was like, I want to paint this building white, you know, my contractor was like, well, you know, get used to spending $2,000 a year on power washing because it's going to get really dirty.
Oh,
And
the
I'm
white.
like,
Yeah.
man. But no matter what you do, it's going to look dirty. It's like getting a black car or a white car. You know, they both get dirty in different ways.
They do.
You know?
And Heather, is your car white? I don't remember.
I had a white car previously. Now I have a black car.
Now you have a black car. So do I. I never had one before. And I will say that I wouldn't get another black car. I love my car, my Volvo, wonderful car. But I mean, a white car that kind of has like a little mud splash here and there, whatever. But a black car, I mean, all you need is like just the slightest gust of wind. And it's like, it's like I never washed it 5 minutes ago.
Oh, totally. And I feel the same way about my black tiled bathroom floor. It's like, I don't regret it because I felt like I thought it through and I knew that it was probably going to, you know, show dust and hair and that kind of thing. But I think if I were to go back, if we could rewind, I would probably do like a light green or a light blue, you know, something that it does show a lot. And it's
an unforgiving but cool color.
True that, Sarah Lane. Well, I definitely won't be painting my Victorian black with white trim because then it would look all gothic, like the Addams family lived there. I won't do that to the locals.
Black with white trim. I wouldn't recommend. Although white with black trim, I mean, that's
what I want to do.
Right. Except then it'll rain once, and then everyone's gonna be
know.
like, "Look at
That's
that,
the
like
thing.
dirty old Victorian."
You can't win. It does not matter what you choose.
It's impossible to win.
You can't win.
Impossible.
Only small victories.
Well, speaking of small victories, if you can even call it that, is in our Discord, which we love our Discorders. By the way, if you want to join our Discord, you can do so by becoming a patron at patreon.com/havesuchagoodday. Heather and I have been talking for a couple months now. Like, lives are in upheaval. You know, if you listen to the show, if you know, you know. But we've been talking for a while about how to, you know, maybe spruce up the Discord or the Patreon a little bit and Discord because of that. And we're still kind of walking through some of those ideas. But in the meantime, so many fun things do happen in our Discord. We love our Discorders. And Leah, who's in our Discord, had called me out the other day asking me to look at this this Reddit thread about unlikely food combinations.
That slap.
Yeah, in fact, the actual title of the thread is "What's an unlikely food combination that slaps?" And I loved the first response, or at least the first response that shows up to me, because I think Reddit algorithms are a little bit different for everybody. But someone said, "Goldfish on a cold cut sandwich," and then added, "Edit, goldfish the crackers." Just in case you thought somebody was putting their goldfish on a sandwich and eating them, which I guess wouldn't be unlike sardines.
I like this guy who says black coffee and beef jerky. Great way to start the day. Wow. I mean, beef jerky in the morning, coffee, yeah. But
Well, and then I love the first response, at least the one that I see to that, someone saying, "What, are you a cowboy?" I mean, I don't know if cowboys drink black coffee and eat beef jerky, but I guess it seems that way.
maybe because like a cowboy is so tough and like can handle like it's just like beef jerky, you know, dude likes his beef
and some caffeine.
meat ass meat.
Some of this is a great the whole thread is great, especially because I really appreciate anybody who does something weird with their plate. But like somebody wrote, cheddar and apples also slap. It's like, who is not eating cheese on apples already?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's like a typical
Unless
thing
you
you'd see
don't
on a
like
cheese
cheese or
plate.
can't eat it, like then
Yeah.
you know that's all good. But like that's an easy one.
That's a pretty common one. I mean, I feel like there are a lot of ones on here that aren't that weird. Like, well, okay, peanut butter and bacon sandwich.
Oh God, kill me.
I don't think I can handle that.
No?
But I get the French fries dipped in like a vanilla milkshake. I would totally do that.
Heather, I would not.
You wouldn't? I would.
No.
That's probably the weirdest thing that I would do that slaps for me. And if any of you out there have not heard the way, you know, we refer to something slapping, I don't know if slap is actually the correct way to say this about food specifically. You can say like music slaps, or like, you know, a song, or
Oh no,
other
you can
things.
you can say
You
a
can say
dish
slap.
slaps.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I think that Leah was referring to the fact that you love your cottage cheese and
And everything.
yeah, and pretty much everything but the kitchen sink.
So I will say there are a few entries on this thread that include watermelon, and I'm out. You can't put
Oh, yeah, you hate
anything on
watermelon, that's
watermelon and make
right.
me like it. I will never. I
It's
will
so
never.
interesting. Is it the texture or the taste?
No, it's the taste. It tastes like hummingbird food. And you might
think
say,
it's-
well,
I've
how would
never
you
known
know
anybody
that?
that
How
doesn't like
strange.
watermelon.
We always had a hummingbird feeder like outside our house when I was growing up. And so one of the sugar water, you know, that's hummingbird food.
yeah.
Like it was always in the fridge, like along with like the orange juice that like the humans would drink. And
Okay.
I always knew like where the hummingbird food was. Like I didn't like mistakenly drink it, but I
I'm just
knew
worried
that
that
it
you
was
had
like
bad
gross.
watermelon, because like bad watermelon is really pithy and like not very good.
No.
But like good watermelon is like
Nope. Can't convince
is
me.
the slap. Okay, what about
does not
Oreos
slap.
dipped in water instead of milk? Now there's something wrong with this person.
Wait, what are they
You
dipping
belong
in water?
in prison. Oreos dipped in water instead of milk, and then the guy
Oh,
after
God.
that says you belong in prison.
You- Well, you know, let's not, you know,
That's funny.
We don't know. Maybe
You're right,
he's in
you're right,
prison.
you're right.
Yeah, Oreos dipped in water. Can't imagine ever
Like,
wanting
why
to do
bother?
that. But okay. I mean, I can
Hey,
think of worse things.
to each their own.
To each their own. Yeah. It's kind of fun. Oh, so I'm scrolling down and looking at all sorts of weird things. Peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. No, I would have said, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, that's so dumb. No one would ever do that. Why even bring it up? Except that the New York Times actually published something about how peanut butter and pickle sandwiches were like cool. And somebody shared that with me, like, what do you think? And I was like, absolutely not.
Maybe you need to
almond
try
butter
it.
I prefer, but like peanut butter I'm fine with. Pickles I love. Bread, absolutely, but
Just
nope.
not together.
No. I can't think of anything more horrible.
Some of these things are really random, like cucumbers and raw almonds. Like, okay, or like sugar cookies and beef jerky. Like, how do you ever have those two things like in the same sitting?
I don't know. But I mean, I also feel like here I am all high and mighty being like, nobody would ever, put salt on watermelon and eat it. But I also make really weird food for myself.
You do. We need to make a cookbook. That
We
might
really
be your
do.
next venture, Sarah.
To have such a good meal cookbook.
Yes.
Or something like
All
that.
the things we've talked about over the years.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, to everybody who, thank you for listening to my weird food situations. Heather also has hers, although she's a very
I'm
good
a little
cook.
less weird, but yeah,
A
thank
little
you.
less weird, yeah. And maybe even a little more adventurous, to be honest.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except no uni. You like uni. I don't like
I
uni.
love it. Oh gosh, uni all day. Uni
No.
all day. Yeah, see?
Nope.
Maybe uni is your watermelon.
Yeah, it
Where
might
you're just
be.
like, I'm not doing it.
I'm just grateful that we both love Cheez-Its. I'm very happy about that. And then we can relate on some level.
When everything goes to hell, we always have Cheez-Its.
We do.
According to Nabisco or Mills Foods or whatever parent company runs Cheez-Its, they're really, they're just churning them out.
They're killing it.
Yeah. What do you want? You want watermelon Cheez-It? We got it.
I'm surprised there's no Cheez-Its with sriracha. I feel like everything's with sriracha nowadays.
I think there actually is.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
I hate sriracha. But anyway,
well,
that's a story for another day.
I didn't make it up, so.
Well, I think because Heather and I are descending into a little bit of madness right now when it comes to our aching, creaking bodies and weird food suggestions, we're going to go ahead and wrap
put a
up
pin in it.
this show. We're going to put a pin in episode 191. But man, we got
Palindrome.
through it. We got
The
through it.
palindrome pin.
The palindrome pin, the pillindrome, if you will. And for everybody who sticks with us, thank you so much. And if you've been having a tough week or a great week, we salute you and we're so glad to have you with us.
And let us know how great your week has been or how bad it has been. Email us always and forever and often at hi@havesuchagoodday.com. In the meantime,
Indeed.
I will remain Heather until next week.
And I'll be Sarah forever.
Have such a good day.
Bye.